Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, two names that defined a generation. Their love, their music, their pain, all played out in front of the world. But now, it's over. Stevie Nicks has spoken for the final time, and what she said, it's absolutely devastating. Before they were legends, they were just two kids trying to make it in the music world. Stevie and Lindsey, partners in every sense of the word, found each other in high school, and from that moment, their destinies became one. They formed the band Buckingham Nicks. But it was Fleetwood Mac that would change everything. Stevie's haunting voice and mystical presence, Lindsey's sharp guitar and production genius. They were magic. But behind the fame, the records, and the standing ovations, there was heartbreak. Their romance fell apart just as their music soared, and though they kept performing together, the pain never truly went away. Their most iconic songs often told the story they couldn't say aloud. Silver Springs, written by Stevie, wasn't just a track, it was a plea, a heartbreak, and a goodbye all in one. She once said singing it with Lindsey on stage was like reliving their breakup in real time.
I begin not to love you.
In 1997, during their iconic The Dance reunion performance, fans saw the tension come to life. When Stevie stared directly at Lindsey during Silver Springs and sang with visible emotion, even he was shaken. That moment went viral before viral was a thing, because it wasn't just a performance, it was real.
Time casts a spell on you.
But there were also quiet moments that few saw, like the time Stevie reportedly left a poem tucked into Lindsey's guitar case before a major tour, or when Lindsey dedicated Big Love to her during a live show, even though they weren't speaking off stage. Their connection was undeniable, even in silence. For decades, fans wondered how they did it. How did Stevie and Lindsey manage to share a stage year after everything? The truth is, they didn't. Not really. Stevie would later say it was always a challenge, that every tour, every rehearsal, every glance from Lindsey brought it all rushing back. The control, the fights, the words they could never take back. But in 2018, everything exploded. At a MusiCares tribute honoring Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey's behavior backstage pushed Stevie to the edge. What she thought would be a joyful celebration became the final straw. It wasn't just that night, it was years of buildup. Stevie has often talked about how their working relationship felt like walking on a tightrope. One misstep, and it all came crashing down. And fans remember other clashes too. The infamous 1987 tour, where Stevie allegedly stormed off the stage after a heated argument, or the 2003 reunion, where Lindsey walked out of rehearsals more than once. These weren't isolated incidents. They were signs of a relationship too fractured to mend. After the MusiCares event, Stevie made her choice. Lindsey was out of Fleetwood Mac. For good. But what really happened behind closed doors? Stevie's recent interview finally revealed it all. She told Rolling Stone that she had brought a special song to that event, a duet called Borrowed that she had recorded with LeAnn Rimes. She wanted Lindsey to sing it with her, but instead of a beautiful moment, she got disdain. It happened one night, not planned, at a MusiCares. I didn't even tell anybody it had happened in my head until the whole ceremony was over. I took with me that night a song that I had done with LeAnn Rimes called Borrowed, said Stevie Nicks. She said Lindsey mocked her, was cold toward her, and even acted rude to Harry Styles, who was there to honor the band. Stevie said she'd had enough, that she couldn't take another moment of his energy. That's when he wasn't very nice to anybody. He wasn't very nice to Harry Styles. I could hear my mom saying, "Are you really going to spend the next 15 years of your life with this man?" I could hear my very pragmatic father, and by the way, my mom and dad like Lindsey a lot, saying, "It's time for you guys to get a divorce." Between those two, I said, "I'm done." To fans, it was shocking, but not surprising, because for years the tension had simmered. Stevie's emotional performances, Lindsey's brooding presence, it was as if they were always on the edge of either rekindling something or burning it all down. But it wasn't until 2022, after the heartbreaking death of Christine McVie, that Stevie and Lindsey would speak again. At Christine's memorial, the two locked eyes. And what happened next was haunting. Stevie says their final conversation lasted just 3 minutes. No closure, no apologies, just silence, and then goodbye. And that was it. Decades of music, years of pain, and just 3 minutes to end it all. Those who were there described the moment as painfully quiet. No embraces, no tears, just an unspoken acknowledgement that their story had reached its final page. And yet, even in that silence, there was meaning, because sometimes the deepest pain can't be spoken, and the longest stories end not with a scream, but with a whisper. Their history was never just romantic. It was creative, spiritual, and deeply complex, and in the end, that complexity became too much to carry. But even if they couldn't survive as a couple or as bandmates, they created something eternal. And maybe that's the most heartbreaking truth, that love doesn't always last, but legacy does. Fleetwood Mac will never be the same. With Christine McVie gone, Stevie has said there will be no reunion, no final tour, no last goodbye. And yet, in 2025, Lindsey and Mick Fleetwood have reunited for a new solo album, a flicker of the old magic, but without Stevie, the heart of the band feels absent. It's a chapter closed, a fairy tale turned tragedy. The band that once sang about dreams and chains now feels like a memory, powerful, eternal, but out of reach. And for fans who grew up with their music, who fell in love to their lyrics, the loss feels personal. Because when Fleetwood Mac fractured, something inside us fractured too. In the end, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham gave us more than music. They gave us raw emotion, real heartbreak, songs that told us love doesn't always last, but it can still echo forever. Their final message to each other may have been short, but their message to the world, it was eternal. Because in every note of Landslide, every whisper of Sarah, every strum of Never Going Back Again, there's a piece of their story. And ours. Thank you for watching. If you grew up with Stevie and Lindsey, if their songs were the soundtrack of your youth, drop a comment below. What's your favorite Fleetwood Mac memory? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more legendary stories from music's golden era.
Champion and winner of $1 million.
What if the man sweeping your school hallway had a voice powerful enough to shake the world? What if fame knocked on his door and he just smiled, waved, and went back to work? This is the true story of Richard Goodall, the quiet janitor who stunned America on national TV and then did something that nobody expected. Get ready, because his next chapter might just be the most unbelievable yet. Richard Goodall was never chasing the spotlight. He was a school janitor in Terre Haute, Indiana. His days were filled with cleaning classrooms, emptying trash cans, and offering a kind word to kids. But behind that humble smile was a powerful voice most people didn't expect. Students at his school already knew. They'd hear him singing as he worked, soft tunes that floated through the halls. It was common for students to stop and listen. His voice brought peace to the school, but the rest of the world had no idea until he stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2024. When he sang Journey's Don't Stop Believin', everything changed. Judges stared, the crowd exploded. Simon Cowell looked amazed, and then, boom, the golden buzzer. Richard was going straight to the live shows. That moment launched him into the spotlight. But what followed was even more magical. Richard sang in round after round, songs filled with emotion, truth, and heart. There were wild acts that season. A dog act named Ronnie Sagi that made tails wag. A high-energy drone group called Sky Elements that lit up the sky. But Richard, he just stood there, holding the mic with both hands, eyes closed, pouring his heart out. His performances felt like warm memories. Like a hug through the screen. People felt like he was singing just for them. His voice wasn't just strong, it was familiar, like an old friend. And in the summer of 2024, America voted. Richard Goodall won season 19 of America's Got Talent. Most AGT winners disappear into the world of stardom. They sign contracts, tour cities, appear on magazine covers. Richard, he chose something different. In January 2025, he appeared on the Tell Us About Yourself podcast with Chris Carrion. Listeners couldn't believe what he said. He was still working as a school janitor. That's right, the same job, same school, same town. As Richard said, never at any point did I ever have any aspirations to perform. I mean, I've always wanted to perform, but it's never been a drive of me to be famous or be noticed. It's more of a music and people thing than a, hey, here I am, notice me type thin. He added about staying at his job. It's something he couldn't see himself not doing at the end of the day. What shocked fans the most was that he had the opportunity to walk away. But he didn't. He returned to his mop, his keys, his hallway, and to the students who never saw him as just a janitor but as someone special. He sings to connect, not to shine. To him, music is like a photograph. Each song is a time capsule. It can take someone back to a moment they forgot, a first dance, a lost friend, a happy day. That's what music means to Richard. Not the money, not the spotlight, just people and memories. He wants each note to matter, each lyric to touch someone's life. Even while working full-time, Richard is slowly building a music career. He performs at local venues and small gigs. He's been invited to sing at community centers, charity events, and even some high-profile functions. He doesn't have an album yet, but more and more people are noticing him. His fan base is growing. Some people are even calling for him to go on tour. He's met with producers and fellow musicians. He's recording new material, but true to his nature, he's doing it on his own terms. No rush, no pressure, just the love of the craft. Still, Richard won't rush. If it's something that you love and you're passionate about, you have to make time. Each song that I sing is a time capsule into people's lives. It takes you back to a certain point in time. That's what all of this is about, he said. And that's exactly what he's doing. So what does it really mean to be a star? Is it being on a billboard, or is it staying true to yourself when the whole world tells you to change? Richard never tried to become someone else. He didn't get a makeover. He didn't fake anything for the cameras. And maybe that's why people trust him. He reminded us that greatness isn't loud. It's honest. It's kind. And sometimes it comes with a name tag and a mop. Richard knows that his life is changing, and one day he might have to hang up the janitor uniform and step onto a bigger stage. More people are calling. More offers are coming in. Fans are waiting. Could we see a debut album in 2025? A tour? Maybe a documentary? Nothing's official yet, but Richard is keeping the door open. And if his schedule allows, maybe one day he'll take his voice to places far beyond Indiana, Vegas, Nashville, maybe even Broadway. Anything is possible. Richard's journey reminds us that talent can come from anywhere. A school, a hallway, a man with a quiet voice and a kind heart. He didn't change to become a star. Instead, his kindness, humility, and gift for music made the world stop and listen. He's not just a singer. He's a symbol, a reminder that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. He represents all the voices that haven't been heard yet, all the hidden talents. He tells us that it's never too late, and you're never too small. Richard Goodall didn't stop believing. He believed in music, in people, in staying true to who you are. Before you go, drop a comment below. What surprised you most about Richard's story? And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss an inspiring journey like this one. Not everyone who wins a trophy wins at life, but Richard, he might just be winning at both. So next time you hear someone humming in the background or see someone doing a quiet job with care, look a little closer. Because greatness doesn't always wear glitter. Sometimes it carries a broom. And Richard, he's just getting started.
What was your dream?
I thought I would do something, with animals. Probably be, who knows? I mean, I was a waitress / I worked at a tanning salon.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just moved to the big city of Vancouver off the island. Even that people don't really leave the island a lot. So that was a brave move of mine, and I didn't know what was going to happen. It was my first plane ride when I went to Los Angeles.
From Baywatch bombshell to barefaced revelation, the woman who once defined Hollywood glamour now rejects it entirely. Pamela Anderson's transformation isn't just physical, it's revolutionary. Who cares about lighting? Just be free. These aren't words you'd expect from a woman whose image was meticulously crafted for decades. But at 57, Pamela Anderson has done the unthinkable in an industry obsessed with youth and perfection. She's embraced her natural self, completely makeup-free, and that's just the beginning of what she's revealed. The world did a double take when Pamela Anderson appeared at Paris Fashion Week completely makeup-free. No foundation, no mascara, nothing. But the real shock wasn't her bare face. It was the profound decision behind it. "I was at Paris Fashion Week getting ready for 3 hours in hair and makeup," Anderson revealed, "and I thought, I just really want to go to the Louvre. I want to see Paris. Who am I competing with? Why am I doing this?" In that pivotal moment, Pamela made a choice that would send ripples through the beauty industry. She simply walked out au naturel. The response blindsided her. Women stopped her on the street with gratitude. Mothers introduced their daughters. See this woman. In our filter-obsessed culture, Pamela's authenticity resonated deeply. What most don't realize is that this wasn't merely about skipping makeup. This moment represented the culmination of a 4-year journey of self-discovery that began when she retreated from Hollywood completely. Behind the headlines about her new look was a woman who had been quietly rebuilding herself away from the spotlight, rediscovering who she truly was beneath the decades of carefully crafted image and expectation. While Hollywood buzzed about Pam and Tommy, the Hulu series that exploited a painful chapter of her life without consent, the real Pamela Anderson was undergoing a profound transformation far from the spotlight. She wasn't hiding from the world, she was healing herself. "My garden saved me," she revealed. 3 or 4 years ago, I moved back home and renovated my little vegetable farm. I was renovating myself too. This wasn't a celebrity retreat, it was a homecoming. The woman once defined by red swimsuits and magazine covers traded glamour for growth, literal growth. She cultivated vegetables instead of her image, finding unexpected peace in the soil of her childhood home. During this period of quiet renewal, Anderson spent her days making pickles, writing a cookbook, and reconnecting with the earth. The industry that had typecast and exploited her for decades became increasingly irrelevant to her daily existence. In her garden, she wasn't Pamela Anderson, the icon. She was simply Pamela, digging, planting, and flourishing away from judging eyes. She might have continued this peaceful existence indefinitely, content with her homegrown life, until a script arrived that would change everything. When director Giacopola sent Anderson the script for The Last Showgirl, it initially didn't even reach her. Her agent rejected it within an hour. What the public doesn't know is how the script finally found its way to her, through her son Brandon, and her reaction. "This is mine. I've got to do this." The parallels were uncanny. The film follows Shelley Gardner, an aging Las Vegas showgirl who faces the end of her career when her long-running show is shut down. Like Pamela, Shelley is underestimated, discounted, and fighting to take her power back. "I had so much empathy for Shelley. I fell in love with her," Pamela revealed. "It's a very touching and beautiful story that isn't exploitative towards women." But the most shocking part? Pamela Anderson, the woman written off as just a pretty face for decades, delivered a performance so powerful it earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress. The actress, who many assumed couldn't string a full sentence together, was suddenly being mentioned alongside the industry's most respected performers. As she put it with characteristic candor, having nothing to live up to is kind of a good position to be in. You can surprise anybody, even with a full sentence. You're genius. The success of The Last Showgirl brings to light an uncomfortable truth. Hollywood has systematically underestimated Pamela Anderson for decades, and she wasn't the only one. "I underestimated myself too," she admitted. "You've got to believe in yourself for others to believe in you." When asked why she thinks she was underestimated for so long, director Giacopola explained what many in the industry won't openly acknowledge. Being a beautiful woman, you get typecast in a way. What's truly shocking is how the industry treats women as disposable, both young and aging. Pamela describes auditioning for roles where men look through you, not seeing you as a performer, but as some widget that he can either plug into his production or not. Yet, even at 57, Pamela refuses to back down. In one powerful scene in the film, her character defiantly states, "I'm 57 and I'm beautiful." That's not just acting.